What's going on, guys? We are back with another episode of the Cover 2 podcast. I'm your host, Lawson Turner, joined once again by my boy, Lance. What's going on, bro?
Hey, how's it going? Just week one of football is completed. Just watched Monday night. Excited.
Yeah, so let's dive right into. We'll talk about the Monday night game here in a little bit. Let's go over the week one games, thoughts, takeaways, any thoughts, concerns. So the Browns pummeled, and I'm using it lightly. They pummeled the Bengals 24-3. Joe Burrow, after signing that massive contract Thursday night, they got rolled. They
Yeah,
they didn't
yeah,
they didn't look like the Super Bowl contending team that everyone expects them to be.
no, and I don't really think they use their star wide receiver very effectively either.
Which
I
one?
saw the one that they're gonna have to pay next year and not let walk. Jamar Chase. I saw a picture of his route tree,
Yeah.
and it was all out routes. He ran nothing across the middle of the field. And they're wondering why Joe Burrow only threw for 82 yards.
It was just, it looked awful. It looked like they weren't ready to play. It looked like they were playing down to their competition, and it bit him in the ass. Like, Deshaun didn't blow you away numbers wise. He was 16 for 29, 154 yards, a touchdown, and one of the most horrible picks you will ever see in your life. It was just a
Yep.
long handoff to the wrong team. Like,
Mhm.
Nick Chubb didn't dominate. I mean, he went over 100 on 18 carries, which is almost 6 yards a clip. Like, they didn't. Elijah Moore, 3 catches for 43 yards. It's just like they didn't. This game was just a dud. It was just an
Yeah.
absolute dud by the Bengals, and it makes you wonder if the Bengals are they who we thought they were. Like, we expect this team to win the AFC North and be in contention for a Super Bowl because they have the All-Star Joe Burrow and his number one weapon Jamar Chase, but week one they just didn't show up.
Yeah. Um. I don't know if that O line is good enough. There's no reason a D tackle should be doing a crossover and then immediately pressuring your quarterback after doing a pretend crossover before the ball snapped. I don't know if you saw that video or not of Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett was just acting an
It,
ass. He was just acting
yeah,
an ass.
like that should not happen anywhere, but it did.
You can't get whopped before the ball is even snapped and just
Mm,
straight through the A gap. And so,
yeah,
like, we know how much of a beast Myles Garrett is on the edge, but when he lined up inside at the nose tackle spot and just stood in a 2 point stance and just huh, huh, and then split the center and the guard and got straight to Joe Burrow. It's just like you can't have that.
no.
And so I think they'll bounce back against the Ravens, but we'll get to the Ravens here in a bit. The rate well, uh, we'll get to the Ravens right now. The Ravens took on the Texans and they did what they were supposed to do to the Texans. They made C.J. Stroud's life hell.
Mhm.
Lamar looked rusty, but he didn't have to
Yep.
be firing on all cylinders because the Texans will probably have a top five pick this year because you have D'Amico Ryans, new head coach, C.J. Stroud,
Mhm.
he's a rookie, so this is all just going to be learning experience. I'm all for throwing rookies into the fire rather
Mhm.
than letting them now. There's pros and cons to both. If you're pro start rookie, if you're pro sit rookie, if you sit them behind a veteran quarterback, they're gonna learn. They're gonna learn things on and off the field, what the veteran sees and what his tendencies are.
Mm.
If you throw them into the fire, they're gonna get more in-game experience.
Yeah.
So I just think this was I didn't expect anything less
Yeah.
than just them rolling. Then we go to Minnesota, where your team, the
Mhm.
Buccaneers, squeaked out a win over Kirk Cousins and his timely turnovers. You know what? The floor is yours. You take it away, and I'll chime in.
This game was a roller coaster for the entire first half. I was convinced that the Bucks were going to have the number 1 pick in the draft. I was so convinced. I'm like, we're terrible. We can't do anything. We can't move the ball. Baker looked below average. Line looked below average. Play calling was trash. Came out and said that we're going to be a run first team, and we threw 7 out of the first 10 plays. And then the second quarter came, and Baker baked. He did what he needed to do. He made some timely first downs with his legs. Started talking that talk, and our defense showed out. I'm very proud of our defense. They're the reason we were in that game for that first half. I want to say that we quote unquote shut down Jettas. We didn't. He went crazy yards wise. He didn't get a touchdown. He had like 9 for 150, I think.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at it. He had 9 for when you hold a receiver to 9 catches for 150 yards, and you in quotations shut him down. It's really interesting to word it that way.
It's a crazy way to word it. I know, but outside of his 150 yards, I can't even say anything because I'm not going to say it didn't affect the game because it did. Because all that 150 yards to do was led to a Kirk Cousins turnover, which was glorious.
That's what I say. Kirk Cousins, those when he threw that pick at the goal line, I was like, oh, damn, that's a bad ball.
Yeah, and that was against a rookie DB. It wasn't even like it was a veteran making a veteran play. It was literally a rookie DB who barely made the team as our starting nickel.
And he just jumped it.
He jumped it. Took it right out of his hands.
Made a great play on the ball, and like I said in our week 1 predictions, like the Bucks aren't gonna be just bums trotting out nerds on the field. Like they're gonna be fine. I don't like Baker, but I don't think he's a bum. I think he's a B on his best day. I think he can be a B plus quarterback, and you can win a lot of games in the NFL with a B plus quarterback, and with the weapons he has. Like you saw him connect with Mike Evans for that touchdown early.
Yep.
So
Hashtag pay Mike.
That's gonna be a name come trade deadline, depending upon where the record is. Who's gonna make a call? Who's gonna make a call for either him or Godwin? Either or.
I already know. Kansas City's on the phone. Dallas is on the phone.
If I'm Kansas City, I'm calling right now.
You have to if you're Kansas City. You're doing literally the best quarterback in the league a disservice if you don't at least kick the tires.
Yeah, because the worst they can do is say no. That's the worst thing that can happen. The worst thing in the world is they call and say, "Hey, what do you want from Mike Evans?" And the Bucks say, "We're not trading to you. Bye," and hang up the phone.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing that could happen. They can't eat you.
Mm-hmm.
Like.
Yeah.
I don't know. And
the last thing I want to say about the Bucks real quick.
Yeah.
Our run defense to hold them as a team to 41 yards.
Oh, I thought it was
rushing.
Massive. I thought it was awesome, and I understand they don't have Dalvin Cook anymore, but Madison's not a scrub.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he was Minnesota's backup, but because they had Dalvin Cook rushing for 1,100 yards every year.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I thought for the Bucks, it's a great win, and I'm not gonna say shut him out, but to contain Jay Jettas to 9 for 150. Like, the thing about Justin Jefferson, he's going to get his targets. He's so good, and it won't matter. He's going to get his targets. He's going to get his catches. He's going to get his yards. But if you can limit his touchdowns, that'll do wonders for you. That will do wonders. So, like, if he would have had that 9 for 150 and 2 touchdowns, we're looking at a different game.
That's an insane game. Yeah, 100%.
We're looking at a different game.
Yeah. And that kid they got, Jordan Addison, he's a stud. He's going to be good.
Oh, my God. I love that kid. He is
That kid's going to be good.
His route running is so crisp.
Mm-hmm.
He just... Like I don't think he'll be on the level of Julian Edelman. It's his rookie year. We'll see. But it's like
Mhm.
he reminded me of when Brady would just go to Edelman and just say, "Hey, babe, just get open,"
Just get open.
and he just
Yeah.
his footwork is immaculate, and I think he's going to be really good for years to come.
Mhm.
Now, going to a game in Atlanta in which the Falcons' ground game at the end of last year, they were top 5 in rushing. It dominated the Panthers for a 24-10 win. Uh, I don't even have to say anything. We knew what happened. Bijan did what everyone expected Bijan to do.
Mhm.
He caught the ball fantastically. His first touchdown was a highlight. It's like I thought this team after seeing their last preseason game against my Steelers, I tweeted out, I'm like, okay, they're gonna win like maybe 5 games, but they could be a sneaky good team.
Mhm.
They could be a sneaky good team in a bad division.
And especially because they didn't rely on Ritter at all. 15. They threw the ball 18 times.
Yeah, like that to me was the game. That to me was if you can limit Desmond Ritter
Mhm.
to 18 to 25 passes a game and control the ground and control the clock and control the line of scrimmage, they're going to be in a lot of these games.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I thought they would win this week, but they proved me wrong as to I thought this game would be a lot closer than what it was and what it felt.
Mhm.
You know, it I thought Bryce Young, it's his first game. He threw a pick to Jesse Bates early, which you're a rookie. You're going to believe in your arm and try and force a few things.
Mhm.
But I like how he bounced back, and he did end up getting his touchdown ball because Hayden Hurst blacked out and threw it in the stands. He said after the game that the ball did get tossed back to him, and he does have his first touchdown ball, which is always nice to see.
Yeah.
Now, another game that I didn't expect to be this close, the Commanders outlasting the Cardinals 20-16.
That.
Like,
I mean, yeah. If you went and watched our first episode, you would have heard me say a lot of bad things about the Cardinals to the point where I thought they were only going to score 3 total points. They went out there and gave the Commanders, who are
hell,
playoff hopefuls, hell.
they gave it. They were up 3 at half.
Yeah.
They were up 3 at half in a team that now it's week 1. Everyone feels like they've got something to fight for. And
Mhm.
like Josh Dobbs played a clean game, 21 for 30 for only 132. It's not good because for your yards per completion, I like to see that around you know anything anything more than 5. But
Yeah.
he didn't turn the ball over.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing to me because like we drafted Josh Dobbs and he looked what he was. He's just a below average fringe backup quarterback. And in
Mhm.
Tennessee last year, he was thrown in the fire when Tannehill got hurt and Malik Willis was yanked.
Mhm.
So like what and the Cardinals, I think they're exactly who everyone besides you thought they were. Like they're just a bad team that's going to be feisty in these early weeks until they realized to look
We're a
around
bad
and
team.
yeah, we're a bad team because like this early, no, we don't know.
Yeah.
Josh Dobbs could have went out there, threw for 240, 2 touchdowns, maybe a pick, and let's say they win, and now we're looking at a okay, the Cardinals they squeaked out a win against a playoff fringe team, and
Mhm.
maybe they're better than they thought they were. Now for the Commanders, you guys having to score 10 in the fourth to beat the Arizona Cardinals, that kind of concerned me a little bit. But I liked what I saw from Sam Howell yesterday. He did have a pick, but
Mhm.
I think overall he played a good game. They what I loved about their game plan, they got everyone involved running the ball.
Yeah.
They tried they tried to control the line, they tried to control time. And that's one of those things where if you can control two of those three elements, you're going to win a lot of games or you're going to be in a lot of games. And they did squeak this one out.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that Sam Howell looked good for a week 1 game against a bad team.
Mhm.
Then we go to Indianapolis where it has one of the craziest plays you'll see. That touchdown to DeForest Buckner where they sacked Trevor Lawrence and the ball came out and everyone's just standing around looking and they just scoop and score like you played to the whistle.
Mhm.
And I didn't hear a whistle. And the Jags and Calvin Ridley is who I thought he was, a number 1 receiver. He looked awesome. And him and Trevor
Yeah.
are going to be ridiculously good.
Yeah.
By the end of the year, I think this will be a top 2-3 tandem. Like it'll probably be Mahomes, Kelsey, and is it a shocker to say Lawrence and Ridley are number 2? I don't think so. I think a tandem that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. I think they have their hat in the. I think they have their name in the hat, but Anthony Richardson, I think he's. I saw some people saying on social media he's like a baby Cam Newton,
Mhm.
and I thought he threw the ball fine. I thought he ran good.
Yeah.
The Colts team, if they can handle Jonathan Taylor right and just pay him,
Mhm.
like
They could definitely be something.
it's one of those where like there's no point, there's no reason not to pay him. You have a rookie quarterback who's cheap,
Yeah.
which gives you the flexibility to pay Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
Like
That's what you're supposed to do with rookie contracts. Pay your stars and recruit a couple people.
and go from there.
You know. Yeah.
And Michael Pittman had an awesome game, 8 for 97 and a touchdown. I thought the screen pass on 3rd and long was great.
Mhm.
Because he's a big body. I didn't know how nimble he was, but I still think, like, I think after what they showed on Sunday, the Colts are the second best team in this division.
Yeah.
I I think that a team that we're gonna get into here after this beatdown of the Steelers, which I posted earlier, my thoughts and opinions. But Lance, if you have anything to chime in about just the bulldozing,
No, I've been down as a sports fan, and I'm not even gonna do it to you.
it
I'm not
just
gonna do it to you.
it just wasn't our day. We just got
No.
rolled, and we ran into a buzzsaw of a team that if Brock Purdy doesn't get hurt, maybe they go to the Super Bowl, but we'll never know. And Brock Purdy was throwing to everyone who was wide ass open, and he looked good. Now, the team that we were going to talk about, Titans, they lose to the Saints 15-16. You want to talk about a shit show of a game?
Yeah. Ryan Tannehill needs to be in the CFL. Get out of this league, my boy. My God.
16 for 34, 198 and three picks. Like
DeAndre Hopkins is really concerned about his winning chances now. There ain't no way. He seriously looked at every option available to him and said, "I'm gonna go win with Ryan Tannehill." I don't
oh
believe
my
it.
god. It's like that's one of those where I mean you look at his numbers, 7 for 65, no touchdowns. Your volume's there for DeAndre. Like I don't know.
DeAndre's gonna be DeAndre. You know.
Yeah, he's gonna get his targets, he's gonna get his catches, he's gonna get his numbers, but they're not going to translate to winning anymore.
Especially when your quarterback is throwing it to the other team more than your, you know, they had two receivers with more than 4 catches, and that was Nick Westbrook. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. I'm a casual. I'm sorry. And DeAndre Hopkins. Derrick Henry had 2. Traylon Burks had 2. Spears had 1, and the Saints had 3. You're not winning any games like that.
No, and like if you can, we've seen this over the past 4 years. If you can hold Derrick Henry in check, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
They held him to 63 yards on 15 carries, which is 4.2 a clip. Now to switch to the Saints, I think Derek Carr is just what they needed.
Yeah. He If he can manage the game, they'll be fine. I think the one major thing that we learned from this is Chris Olave is a stud.
Oh my God! When we talk
He
about
is
young
a
receivers,
stud.
if you do not, if you at home, if you don't mention Chris Olave and these young upcoming receivers, he just once again, babe, just get open. He gets open. He makes awesome catches. He had eight catches for 112. Didn't find the end zone, but 8 for 112 will work.
Yeah, not mad at 8 and 112 at all.
Not mad at all. And Rashid Shaheed, he has arrived. I saw some people taking him late, or heard about some people taking him late in fantasy, and he
Guilty.
he had a good game.
He had a great game.
5 for 89 and the tub.
Yeah, you're not mad at that at all.
Do not
I think
sleep on Rashid Shaheed. He could.
Wait.
He might be the hidden slot gem of. Hey, we don't know, but we about to find out because they got a quarterback in New Orleans. And
and once they get Alvin Kamara back week 4,
oh my God,
this is a team that can do something. And this is a Bucks fan saying that. Unfortunately, I hope the Saints have a dumpster fire of a season, but I'm not sleeping on them.
you want to talk about weapons galore?
Yeah,
Chris Olave, stud. Michael Thomas, if he can stay healthy,
stud.
we know what he is.
Mhm.
Rashid Shaheed, if he can keep working out of the slot, awesome.
Mhm.
And then you
They
get
got I like their tight end too, Jawan.
stud,
Yeah.
stud, and he is.
He didn't put up the numbers this week, but
No,
he's good.
he didn't. But they're not asking him to catch in volume,
Mhm.
which is if if you can get 3 for 36 out of your tight end every week, I think most teams would take that. Now,
Agreed.
Jamal Williams, 45 on 18 carries. It was what it was, but it was enough to squeak out a win.
He's a power back. He's not the
Yeah, he's
hand it.
yeah
Yeah,
he's
he's
he's not your bell cow running back. He's your goal line back. Where
yeah.
if you're within the 5 to 8 yard line, you hand it to him, he's gonna punch it in.
Yeah.
Now a team who were exactly who I thought they were. The Denver Broncos and Sean Payton lose to Vegas and porn star Jimmy. Can we just start by saying the fact that Sean Payton opened the game with an onside kick is one of the ballsiest things
And it
I've ever
worked.
like that like who does that? Kind of like when we were going over the Chiefs game, who fake punts on their own 17.
Yeah.
Who opens the game in your first game as a head coach for this franchise and you onside it? Russell Wilson is exactly who I thought he was. He's cooked.
Whoa, what?
He's done.
I wouldn't say that. He managed the game the way he should have.
Oh my God. You
He's a manager.
cannot. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying for the people that are like, oh, let Russ cook. Those days are
Oh
done.
no, yeah, that part's past. That's long gone.
That shit is
Now
done.
he's in a system where he just needs to manage the ball,
Do the
not
layups.
turn it over.
I will say
You
one
know.
thing. He did this towards the end of last year and today and on Sunday a lot better than I thought.
Mhm.
Use your legs.
Yeah, he only rushed one time. Yeah.
But he was getting outside to
Yeah.
extend plays,
Mhm.
which is Russ. That's what you are. And you come up short against Vegas. Now, Jimmy G, they both played relatively clean games. Like Jimmy G, 20 for 26, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Russell Wilson, 27 for 34, 177, 2 touchdowns, no picks. And another thing, everyone was getting touches in the passing game with Denver.
Yeah.
They had, let's count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They had 10 different people catch passes.
Mhm.
Like, it's not going to be a volume by any means. Now with the
And they
Raiders,
and they don't even
continue.
have Jerry Judy right now.
Yeah, he did miss last game. So, and for the Raiders, Jacoby Myers kind of snapped. For everyone that plays fantasy, if you had him, you know, 9 for 81 in 2 tubs.
Yeah.
Devontae didn't even have to be
He,
Devontae today,
yeah, he just had to go out there and just take the Broncos' best corner,
and just
get
like,
him
come
out of
here,
there.
just come here,
Yeah.
and he still ended with 6 for 66.
Yeah.
Now, Josh Jacobs didn't have the game the game that I'm sure a lot of people were expecting. Only had 19 carries. Well, no, let me say not only had, because 19 carries is a lot in the NFL. He had 19 carries for only 48 yards, which is 2.5 a clip. But when you're going against the Raiders, what's the number one thing you go to? We do not let Josh Jacobs ruin our day.
Yeah.
He didn't, and they still came out there and won.
Mhm.
Going to a game where I picked the upset of the week, and I was wrong. The Eagles beat the New England Patriots 25-20. Now, I will say one thing. If I see Mac Jones throw the ball 54 times in one game again this year, I might pull my hair out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he
Like,
he only had one interception though, so I mean, 54 attempts and only one interception. I'm not mad at that
I'm
if I'm a
not
coach.
I'm not mad at that either. But 54 times, my guy, like,
Yeah.
you signed Zeke off the couch, 7 for 29. Ramondre Stevenson, who looked okay last year, 12 for 25. Mac Jones
Yeah.
had 2 for 15. Ty Montgomery had 1 for 7. Like, it was just, they just were airing it out.
Yeah, and they kind of had to because they got off to a really, really, really bad start.
Yeah, but 54 times?
Uh, yeah, when it's 16-0 in the first quarter, I'm not running the ball either. So I mean, I get it.
Yeah, but I think that to at least kind of keep them honest, because it was still only the
Yeah,
first quarter.
yeah, yeah. They had brought it to within two by halftime. It was 16-14 at half.
Yeah, and then it was a field goal kicking game the rest of the way.
Yeah, which which leads me to say, are are we overhyping the Eagles?
Yes. Yes, we
You
are.
know, like AJ and Devonta still did their thing.
They ha-
7 for 79, 747 in a tutty.
like, we know what they have and we know what they are. They're good in key spots. They have a really good quarterback who can also run the air out of the ball.
Mhm.
Only had 37 rushing yards on 9 carries last game. 22 for
Mhm.
23, 22 for 33, 170 and a touchdown. Like, they're not going to blow you away. They're going to bludgeon the hell out of you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that a team who had the late night game on Sunday, they're the Kings, the East. But we'll get into that after this donut that was provided to you by the Seattle Seahawks, because they lose 30-13 in a shocking. I didn't have this game pulled up because I was watching the Chargers Dolphins game, but
Great game.
awesome that we're gonna get into. But like, Seattle, you're up 7-3 after one, and looked okay, and then the Rams just ran away with it.
Yeah.
They were up third. Then like, I just it
Uh,
amazes it. This is one of those. Every team's gonna have at least one of these. You shouldn't lose this game if there's no Cooper Kupp. You cannot let Puka Nakua go 10 for 119.
Who? It's like, man.
You can't let him. If I'm a Seahawks fan, I'm pissed because I can't let him go 10 for 119, no tubs, and then Tutu Atwell, who's nice, but
Yeah,
he's
he's nice. I like
but
Tutu.
but 6 for 119. Stafford 24 for 38, 334, no touchdowns, no picks, was clean. All their touchdowns came on the ground. Like, Seattle, this at home, this was a game to make a statement and say it was not a fluke of what happened last year.
Yeah, Gino got paid and went turtle mode.
Gino got paid and went back to who Gino was.
Yeah.
Like, last year, great year. Through one game, I know it's bad to shit on somebody after one game, but it's the only sample size we have. Now you're back to being Gino. So, we'll see if they can bounce back next week. Now,
Game of the week.
game of the week. You took the words right out of my mouth. The Dolphins and the Chargers. If you were not watching this game, I don't know
You
what
missed out.
game you were watching. 70 combined points.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for everyone that had their doubts on Tua, I think you guys need to shut the hell up. If he plays, and Tyreek, I know he got slandered when he said Tua's more accurate than Mahomes, but for the people that play fantasy at home, he was he was one of the stars that probably won y'all's game this week. 11 for 215 and 2 tutties.
Mm-hmm.
And Tua 28 of 45 for 466, 3 TDs and a pick. Like, oh my god.
Yep.
Jalen Waddle had a decent game, 4 for 78, which is still good, but oh my god. Who was going to guard Tyreek?
There's not a single cornerback in the league who can do that.
Yeah.
No one can keep up with
His
him.
his speed is such a game breaker.
Yeah.
It happens once every few years where there's just someone it's just game breaking speed. Just get him the ball and watch. Or
Mm-hmm.
just throw it up to him and he'll go get it. He's one of the 2 or 3 receivers in the NFL right now. You can't overthrow him.
No.
You put it in the air, he's going to go get it. Now, Justin had a, in quotations, lackluster game because he was only 23 for 33, 226, a touchdown, no picks. Got in the end zone on the ground. But Was it me or did it feel like they were just maybe it's because all their touchdowns, most 3 of the 4 touchdowns came on the ground, that
Mhm.
they just weren't bombs away. And it felt like to me when Jason Sanders, the kicker for the Dolphins, missed that extra point, I was like, okay, that's it. Herbert's going to show off that golden arm, drive down the field, and they're going to walk it off.
Mhm.
But Vic Fangio, who's not he's not used to dialing heat. And that last drive, they got to Herbert twice.
Yep.
One of them being on the 4th down to end the game. And this is just the Chargers have the roster, they have the talent. Can they put it together?
Yeah.
Brandon Staley, your defensive coach. I need you to roll coverage Tyreek's way. After his
Every
first
play.
after his first touchdown, he's not getting one-on-one anymore.
Yeah.
I'm rolling coverage his way. If Waddle beats me in the second half, I got no problem with it. I got no
You
problem
can't.
with it.
Yeah, you can't let someone get 215 yards on you.
Coming from a Bucks fan who has seen Tyreek go get 200 plus yards on him in a quarter,
Mhm.
like
He didn't do it in the second half though.
right? Because you adjust, and this was the Tua to Tyreek game, and they're another up there with Kelsey, Mahomes, Ridley, Lawrence, Tua to Tyreek. They're just
Yeah.
they're just magical. And I know Tyreek wants that 2K bad, and with there being the 17th game, he might get it this year. He's off to an outstanding start if he wants to go for 2K.
Yeah.
Now, Packer fans should be doing backflips because I don't know if this will lead to Super Bowls, but they they did what they always do. They pummeled the Bears, and Jordan Love looked. I thought he looked
He
good.
looked. He looked like a veteran out there. I
He
watched him fumble the ball, pick it up, roll out, and then throw like a 40-yard dime.
now for it goes back to the are you pro throw rookie into the fire or let him sit. Now obviously they weren't going to throw him into the fire because you have Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. He was put in a blessed situation, and he's making the best out of it. But he looked good. He was calm. He didn't rush things. He was getting out of the pocket when he needed to.
Used his
You know,
legs a
he
couple times.
yeah, he did everything that you were supposed to do, and he
He
did it.
right and like he was 15 for 27 for 245 and 3 tubs, no picks. It's clean.
Mhm.
Now, and I was missing Christian Watson,
Yeah.
who him or Romeo Dobbs, pick one. Whoever you want as your number one. He's either your number one or number two receiver, and they missed him and almost scored 40.
Yeah. Aaron Jones, he's elite. If
Monster.
he can stay, yeah, if he can stay healthy, that man is
Monster.
special.
2 catches for 86 yards in a tub. Take that any day of the week. And then he also added 41, 41 rushing yards on 9 carries and a touchdown.
Mhm.
Like, these are numbers that they're just awesome, and he has a good feel for the game.
Yeah.
And I like that he's not getting the bulk of the load. AJ Dillon led the
Mhm.
team in attempts on Sunday.
Yeah. The thing that I like about the Packers too is their defense.
Oh my
I
God!
really, I
For
really like their outside linebacker Lucas Van Ness. My God,
holy
that kid,
shit,
stud. He's gonna be a stud.
monster, monster, absolute demon on the edge. He has he has a really good jump off the line.
Mhm.
He uses his hands really well, and it's going to be interesting to see how for and to switch sides to their counterpart, the Bears. For everyone that was saying Justin Fields MVP candidate, go away. Go back into the
I
closet and go away.
I did not agree with 85% of their play calls.
I didn't either.
I felt like their play calls were restricting everything.
That's
And one other thing
yeah.
that was restricting was the fact that they sent the number 33 pick to the
Thank
Pittsburgh
you.
Steelers for a receiver who did nothing.
Thank you.
That dude stinks.
I remember when Chase Claypool had his when it was his rookie year and he had like 11 total touchdowns and I was like, we got somebody. And then he was just too inconsistent on 50-50 balls. And when you're 6'5" and showed a good rookie year and you just it's almost as if he didn't develop.
It's almost like he stopped caring.
Yes, cuz it was
He
apparent that per reports in the training camp that the Bears were not happy with his energy or it was like almost like a lack of focus.
yeah,
Like
like
you
he's going out there, he's missing blocks by a mile.
oh my god.
He's getting bullied on screen passes. He's dropping balls that are hitting him in the chest. Granted, it was tipped, but it still hit him in the chest. Like,
Like Fields has I don't think it's lack of talent with Fields.
no.
I think at least running. I still think he can still develop more as a passer.
Mhm.
But once again, it's his third year. Most quarterbacks, they're given 2.5, 3 years of okay, we'll see what you are.
Yeah.
I think it's a big year for Justin Fields. I think that for your franchise, you have to put butts in seats.
Mhm.
You have to convince your fan base this could be our time, and you have a
Mhm.
quarterback who's young, great, using his legs. He has a cannon of an arm. He just has to work on like the layups,
Mhm.
and it's not due to lack of weapons.
Yeah. I mean, DJ Moore had a pretty quiet game, but it's
That's gonna happen.
he's DJ Moore. He's gonna get his.
Yeah, he's a most Sundays. I think DJ Moore most Sundays, isn't every Sunday, is a boom or bust receiver. There
Mhm.
are weeks where he looks like he could be a top 10 receiver in the NFL. And then there are weeks like last where Sunday where 2 for 25. DJ Moore,
Yeah.
he's better than that.
Yeah. I think the Bears are gonna figure out a way to get him more involved because you can't just have a talent like that. You
You,
can't. You
yet
traded, or they. He was a big part of the trade piece.
the number 1 pick. Just
Yeah.
get him the ball. Wide receiver screens, jet passes, sweeps. Just get him the
Mhm.
ball and watch. Good things happen.
Let him run some slants, something.
Good things happen. Now to the late night game. There's not much to say for this game. The Cowboys rolled. I think that when the Giants got the ball first and they drove down the field, a bad snap that Daniel Jones had to jump on, and then that field goal that got blocked and returned, I'm like, okay, it's done.
It's gonna be one of those.
It's just and it snowballed fast. The expression is when it rains it pours, and holy shit, it was a monsoon. They couldn't get shit going.
No.
And for all the Dak Prescott haters, he had a quiet game because he didn't have to be Superman. 13 for 24, 143, no tubs, no picks.
Yeah.
And Lance
I don't think it would have
I'm
mattered
talking to you.
if uh, he's still trash. Cooper Rush could have won that game. Don't care.
You're right, because they didn't have to do much.
Exactly. I wasn't hating on the Cowboys. I was hating on Dak.
Cowboys are a really good team, and their defense, it might be top two and it ain't two. Because the way Micah flies off the edge, I'm biased because I think we have the best edge rusher in the NFL in the Watt man, but Micah's got an argument. He does. Nick Bosa does.
Be for real. There's no argument. That man Micah is insane.
He's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The way he jumps off the line, you can't teach that.
No.
He just has, like I said earlier, he just has a good feel for the game. And he flies off the edge and is a disruptor.
Yeah.
And via the stompage of the Giants, I wouldn't be surprised if he's the leader for Defensive Player of the Year right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little early to say. It's still week 1, but
Yeah, it's week 1, but you know how the Lions go.
yeah.
Lions go up and down all the time. Now, for one of the more shocking games of the week, the game that just happened about 3 hours ago at the time of recording, the New York Jets pulled off what damn near looked like the impossible.
Yep.
They beat the Bills at home. Aaron Rodgers, third play of the game, tears, from all reports, pops his Achilles, is done for the year.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say we can start this off by saying that the NFL needs to ban turf fields. I think it's the worst thing that happened for the NFL. They just need to get that gone.
I think
I'm so sick of it.
when David Bakhtiari came out and said that they care more about soccer players than football stars, I think all athletes should be treated equally. Like
Yeah.
they're changing the fields for the World Cup and the MLS games for Messi. But you won't change it for these multi-billion-dollar corporations because that's damn near what teams are. They're just giant corporations.
Yeah.
They won't change the investment on their players?
Yeah.
It's get rid of the turf. We saw what, 3 or 4 ACL tears over the past 2 years at MetLife?
Yeah.
NFL, if this ever gets to you, get rid of the fields. They're awful.
Yeah, you're losing out on star power of Aaron Rodgers because that stadium was slammed.
Oh, bro, you
We were
can.
robbed of a Brees Hall masterclass last year for an ACL. He came out and performed. He went crazy, easing him into the offense. Where?
There was no easement. It was here.
Yeah,
They threw him in 8
he,
feet.
yeah, he shined.
And it like it just sucks so much for Aaron Rodgers because I thought the whole what they did for the I'm not gonna say for the 9/11 game, but how they had him come out with the spotlight on him holding the American flag. I thought it was awesome. The atmosphere
Yeah,
was
it was
rocking. It was
insane.
great. It was great. And to see him now returning back to the game, the Jets' offensive line is who I thought they were.
Not that good.
Aaron Rodgers was under duress from the start.
Yeah, he was in for 3 plays and he was pressured 3 plays.
Like, and he should have got sacked on 2 of the 3. The first one, I don't know how he got out. He just barely stayed on his feet and threw it out of bounds.
Yeah.
But it sucks for Aaron Rodgers. It sucks for the Jets because when you trade for an all-time great quarterback, even though he's 39, all about to turn 40, you're expecting Super Bowl
Yeah.
because he's one of the greatest throwers we've ever seen. And we've
Yeah.
seen what a pissed off Aaron Rodgers does. He wins MVPs. He wasn't my pick to win MVP this year, but I thought he was gonna have a good year. But
Outside of the
continue.
one interception Zach Wilson had,
I think he had a good game.
he had a great game. He, to come in that situation and play the way that he played, I thought he managed it great outside of that one ugly interception.
Yeah, that one was bad, but
That one was really bad. That looked like Zach Wilson
from
threw that ball.
it looked like Zach Wilson threw the ball. It looked like Zach Wilson from last year. Now, to go to the flip side of the Bills, if I'm the Bills, I'm pissed even more than I was going into this year.
Oh, 100%.
The defense was good early. They were up 10.5, and Josh Allen did what Josh Allen does. He can't help himself from turning the ball over. The further he is away from Brian Daboll, it looks like he's regressing. Because when they got the ball, tied at 13 with 5 and change to go, already thrown 3 picks. I'm like, okay, they're going to control this clock. They're going to work it down, and Tyler Bass is going to hit a walk-off, and they're going to go home. First play of the drive. A muffed snap. He corrals it, runs up his offensive line, straight up the middle, fumbles it again, and I'm just like, bro. Like, do you not... Josh Allen's great quarterback. He cannot stop turning the ball over.
No.
Since coming into the league, he leads the league with 83 turnovers. Like, it's just bad.
Yeah.
And, like, Stephon had a good game, 10 for 102 in a tub.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, oh my God. And when they got the ball first in overtime, I'm like, okay, Josh, now is it. Now is when you had a shit game through and through this whole second half. Now is when you're going to turn it on. They start with a false start. And then he misses. I can't remember which tight end it was, whether it was Dawson Knox or Dalton Kincaid. Missed him. That would have picked up the first down. And then they ran a draw, got 2 yards, and then an out route to Stephon that was just a little bit in front. And the punt return that might be one of the 4 punt returns we're going to see all year. And the stadium exploded.
I exploded, and I'm not even a fan.
Now, I saw people on Twitter complaining about a missed tripping call.
He tried jumping over that man to get that tackle.
Yes.
He did exactly what a blocker is supposed to do. He got in his way, in front of him, but he tried to jump over / behind him, and obviously the dude in front fell. That's not tripping. That is, you're trying to do whatever you can do to get to tackle the ball carrier.
Yeah.
But as a blocker, he did what a blocker does, and that is block him.
He did. And
it's not a tripping call.
And for someone who was invested in the game financially, Josh Allen, if I see you, you owe me $50.
Count your days, buddy.
Count your fucking days. Like, it amazed me so much because the first half, it wasn't great, but they were up 10.5. You had the air sucked out of the building when Aaron Rodgers went down. Now, we don't pray for injuries. We don't love to see these all-stars, these superhumans get hurt. But for the Bills, you got to capitalize on them sucking the life out of the building. That is demoralizing for all Jets fans. And you got to capitalize on that. And they did in the first half. Then in the second half, pick, and a fumble. And Tyler Bass, that kick to force overtime. I understand you've been great from distance. I think he's 8 for 13 from 50 plus leading into that kick. It was from 50. That shit looked shaky from when it left his foot.
Mm-hmm.
When it left his foot, I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna doink, and it doinked in, and then the punt return happened, and it was awesome. It was an awesome environment. It was an awesome way to wrap week one. Coming up Thursday, we've got the Vikings and the Eagles, and we'll get week two predictions sometime later this week. There will be short videos also throughout if any news arises. But that was awesome, and NFL season's back. So to wrap things up, Steelers are going to bounce back. This the script is set. We're going to win the Super Bowl, and we're going to be fine. Uh, just kidding. It's obviously going to be like the Chiefs and Cowboys or something stupid.
I'll
Which
never put the Cowboys and Super Bowl in the same sentence ever again.
oh my god. Well, that is all for this week. Thank you guys for watching another episode of the Cover 2 podcast. I'm your host Lawson Turner with my co-host Lance, and we will talk to you guys later. Peace out, guys.